comes from buttress roots of many trees. In the bucket here, bit of medicine, really good for skin. This stuff here is paint, basically how we paint our bodies. So we start off with spear, main hunting tool in the area, especially for hunting fish. You can use it when you hunt kangaroos in the area. So the spears, the spearheads, we have wooden spearheads that come from a tree called black palm. Doesn't sound like much because it's wood and the spear tip, but if you shot at something with someone, that wood is very, very hard. It can pierce the skin. Okay? Very, very strong. It just all depends how you sharpen it. Alright? This one here, this is a warmer. So if you're having problems reaching the distance of that school of fish moving away from you, this is kind of like a slingshot that goes on the back of your spear. Okay? When I grab the spear out, myself personally, without this, I could probably reach like 40, just pushing 50 meters. If I want to reach 80, close to the 100 meter mark, put this on the back of your spear. Okay? Hold it together like that. So when you hold the spear and warmer it together, you're going to use the warmer behind and flip the spear. And that's just going to make your spear travel further. One of the records around here, 125 meters in distance. You have wind coming behind you as well, you need to throw further. Grandfather of mine, really good spear thrower. So as a young child growing up, I would not give him a hard time at all. He couldn't get away quick enough. Alright. So that's the main hunting tool we use in the area. Shields. Shields come from our buttress roots of many trees, all cut out by stone axe. So they made crooked, oval shapes, circle shapes, even rectangle shapes that cover half of your body. So they didn't really have the right tools like chainsaw or whatever to cut the whole tree down. Buttress roots was also the strongest part of the tree, and they will only cut one piece per tree. They don't keep cutting from the tree where it's going to destroy it. This whole rainforest, we call it Mudja. Mudja means Mother Earth or boss. Okay? So it's basically just protected and looked after as we do, so we don't do any harm to it at all. If they really want to do damage to someone, milky sap, pour it on the front. It's come from a milky pine tree. It's like white sap they pour over the top, then they sprinkle sand, sharp stones, and let it dry in the sun. If they was to swing it at someone, hits them on their skin, rip the skin as like sandpaper. Then you have the sap that actually goes in your skin, and your skin will get like infected. And that's really if you really hate someone. Here in the bucket, sassafras. This is like antiseptic bush soap leaf or shampoo. Now people use it for their skin. Mosquito bites, hives, rashes, burns, bites, anything. An open wound you need to clean out so it doesn't get infected. Use this stuff. When we break it from the branch, the leaves from the branch, we always keep it in water, because if you don't, it can dry up. All the moisture comes out of the leaves, and it'll just be so dry, you won't get more soap out of it. So water, just fresh water from our rivers. Can everyone see that? Just all leaves, right? I've got nothing in my hand, I'm not trying to trick anyone here. Okay. Water, there's nothing in the water, it's just clean water. And then we scrunch it up together. And that's our natural soap we use in the area. Basically bath and stuff. Only thing, you cannot buy it from the store yet. So you have to come and collect it yourself. Okay? Here are our paints. So this is how we paint our bodies when we do traditional ceremonies, dancing, identification as well. The coloured stones, ochre stones, they come from our freshwater streams. White clay comes from a riverbank. Black is from charcoal from wood. So they painted themselves, so if they travel through the area, we go by natural boundaries, our mountains and rivers. So if they cross over that river or that mountain, they meet into another tribe, they always paint themselves. So when they meet each other, they look at each other paint and they'll know exactly which male group they're from. So that's our way of identifying each other as well. Lines and dots, all our people did was, I'll do a quick demonstration here. So lines can represent rivers, boundary lines, storyline. Dots can represent people or raindrops, okay? So handprint stencils, when people do handprints on rock walls, they put the white clay in their mouth, bit of water, and then blow out. And that's how they do handprints. We don't have any rock wall out here because there's too much rain, a lot of moisture. Our big giant boulders, moss that grows over it would have covered it like thousands of years. But if you want to see ancient Aboriginal artwork, go to Laura. It's like 2-hour drive into dry country. Still within our boundary. You'll see handprints, you'll see stick people, you'll see whole weird looking animals. That's just the story of our people, like the storyline, okay? Of how we became in this area. And we call it Dreamtime. Right? Dreamtime's just a story about our people. Over there, that's our hut. So basically that's how our people live here in the Daintree rainforest. Half of them was for the winter to keep all the heat inside. In the summer they just had arch huts, fireplace at the front to keep themselves warm. Any other animals from getting inside and attacking them. Like dingoes, cassowaries, snakes, any animal that could be harmed you. Also keep them warm as well. Always up on higher ground. You wouldn't want to be near the river in a raining season. You'll get washed away all the way out to the coast. Always up on higher ground. Just because we are in the rainforest doesn't mean our people only live here. They're always migrating where food was. Freshwater fish, fruits, nuts here. Dry country, kangaroo, wild duck. They got sick of eating kangaroo. They follow these rivers, they travel all the way to the coast. And then they have seafood. Crabs, mussels, barramundi, all different types of fish as well. Alright. Traditional markings. There's a lot of traditions we can't practice anymore because we can still practice, but we do it in a different way. Just because of rules put in place. For a young person to become a man, they used to mark the body of their skin, the chest. So my grandfather went through it, my father didn't. That's because they come from a different time frame. Where they used to cut the skin of the body, each marking just represents the ability that he knows about the rainforest. So one marking could be learning how to throw a spear. Another marking, taking certain poisons out of fruits and nuts. The list goes on. If I had 6 or 8 and a mate of mine had 2, doesn't mean that I'm better than him. He might have 2 other abilities that I don't know about. Because when men hunt together, they hunt groups of 5. And each individual will know how to hunt, how to survive, how to navigate through the rainforest. All this area here, or where he's heading up today, is all our ancestors have been just living throughout the area. So by doing the smoking ceremonies, we're just letting the ancestors know that we letting like a group of friends head up into the rainforest. Alright. Other than that, if you want to see a bit of evidence, this is the markings from the women, where they used to crack a lot of nuts. You call them nut cracking stones. So we find these stones always next to nut trees. They either buried right next to the tree or they flipped upside down. It's just that where they would crack so many nuts for generations. Alright? You find them everywhere and you see the markings there. Different artifact has different time frames. Like nut cracking stones could be like up to 5,000 years old. Then we got hunting techniques where we use boulders and stuff. Could be 5 to 10. There's all different time frame between different artifacts. So it's kind of a question mark on how old we really are. So I just say tens of thousands of years old. This ancient Aboriginal artwork can date back from 20, 30, even 40,000. Other than that, I'd like to thank you all. Any questions? Too early? Feeling hungry? Yeah?